Job advice you haven't heard before. 3 clever ways to get a job in any industry with no experience. You need experience to get a job, but you need a job to get experience. So how do you actually get your foot in the door if you don't have the background required for the role? In case you are a recent graduate or a professional hoping to switch careers soon, here are 3 surefire ways to achieve the seemingly unachievable goal of landing a job with no experience. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. I'm very happy to have you today, and I hope you are doing great. If you are doing as superb as I'm doing, go grab a cup of coffee or tea. Today I'm going to talk to you about job advice you have never heard before. Now, 3 clever ways to get a job in any industry with no experience. The first thing you need to do is to create and maintain a compelling blog. What I'm trying to say here is that, let's say you want to go into accounting and you are an IT person. You have an IT degree. The first thing you have to do is you have to create and maintain a compelling blog. I'm talking about the design of the blog. And you want to start talking about accounting issues. You want to start talking about finance issues. That's how you build the experience. You have to start thinking about good topics. You have to do your research. You have to take notes and start an outline. You have to draft your blog post. The thing here is, even if you have no experience in accounting, starting to research accounting topics, reading other blogs will give you some kind of expertise when it comes to writing the kind of subject you want to write about. It's very important to always start with the very light subjects and gradually build the complexity as you become familiar with the topic. Now, try to make sure that everything looks and feels professional. It's very important. I'm talking about the design of the blog. You can go with a WordPress template or any other template, but it has to be professional. It has to have the look and feel professional. I'm talking about the content of the blog. The about section, you want to talk about yourself in a professional way. You want to link the blog to your LinkedIn profile, right? Because the idea here is to make sure that you have backlinks between your website, your blog, and LinkedIn and other websites. This is very important. You also want to pay attention to SEOs, right? So if you have no experience in the field, maybe it's time for you to spend some cash and hire a web designer who can help you, or a digital marketing expert who can help you. So going back to the earlier example that I was talking about, if you are a computer science graduate, you want to move into accounting, for instance, you would want to really beef up that blog articles at least 3 or 6 months before you start looking for work. That way you would have built credibility, at least when it comes to the particular topic you are going for when it comes to your job interview. Now, another thing that's very important is that you need to write in a conversational way. In other words, you want to write like you talk. Don't start putting like a PhD, a doctorate thesis on your blog. You want the blog to be well trafficked, to attract a lot of readers. So you want to write in a conversational way, right? You also want to make the blog scannable, right? I'm talking about, using subheadings. You want to write short sentences. You want to keep paragraphs short. You want to use bullet points, right? Again, if you have no experience in the blog writing, take a look at other blogs in the niche where you want to get into and see how the professionals in those blogs are writing. The professionals in that sector are writing, right? And when it comes to making sure that the blog has a strong SEO foundation, use images, right? Because you want to increase the visual engagement. You can also use videos if you want to. But the bottom line here is to make sure the blog is compelling. It has to be compelling. It has to be professional. Now, even if the blog is not well trafficked, in other words, you're still having some problems attracting a lot of readers, it's okay. Because the bottom line here is that you want to build credibility when you go later on to that interview. You want to tell the recruiter to go back and search you and see what you've done in the last 3 to 6 months and, base their opinion on that. So it's not about having millions of viewers or millions of readers ASAP, because these things take time. But the idea is to have something consistent, to be very regular in your posting, trying to post at least twice a week, right? So you kind of have a good volume of articles, a good volume of videos on the blog. All right. So this is step number 1 or tip number 1. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Q. We are talking now about, tip number 2. If you have no experience and you're trying to get a job in any industry, besides setting up a blog 3 to 6 months before the interview, you can also become a reviewer. This is very, very powerful. And when it comes to being a reviewer, there are a lot of websites out there, a lot of platforms that may not compensate you to review, but they are actually going to increase your credibility. For instance, Google My Business, Amazon, Facebook, Yelp, TripAdvisor, the Triple B, Better Business Bureau, Yellow Pages, Manta, Angie's List, Foursquare. Those are platforms that are very, very huge, right? Especially Google. Google is the first on the Alexa ranking in the United States, and you can review any business. Now, when you do the review, try to make sure you use your real name. It's very important, and try to keep everything professional. I'm talking about you writing long form reviews, professional written, edited. You want to watch the grammar, you want to watch the tone, you want to use your real name, and you want to post regularly. I'm talking about posting a review, at least one review every week, right? And again, don't just write anything 1 or 2 lines here. No, I'm talking about 2 or 3 paragraphs, something well researched. All right, this is very important, because for you to establish credibility in the field you're trying to get into, you need to write long form. You're trying to impress the reader, you're trying to impress the recruiter, you're trying to impress the HR manager that you have experience, you have practical knowledge, theoretical knowledge of the field you're trying to get into, even though you don't have the practical experience. So you need to write long form reviews. Now, also, being a reviewer on some of those platforms carries some benefits, right? For instance, on Amazon, you can actually get freebies and gifts. You can get Amazon gift cards and even freebies from some of those companies. And who knows? Who really knows? You might actually, and this is where this strategy works perfect. You can actually review the target company you're trying to work at. So if you have shortlisted, say, 3 or 4 companies that you want to target for interview in the next 6 months, start reviewing them and give them stellar reviews. Write wonderful reviews about them, right? That way, people might say, well, you're trying to kiss some ass, but it's true. I mean, it's a way to be in good terms with your future employer. And there's nothing bad with that. Everybody does that. You're trying to endorse, in proper English, you would say, I'm endorsing this company. So you're just creating a positive environment beforehand, so that when you go to an interview later on, you can actually point to the review you made about the company 6 months earlier, right? So this is very powerful. But again, you want to do this in a professional way. You have to leave professional reviews. You have to make sure that you want to double check, you want to edit it, you want to proofread it, no typo, no convoluted wording, no convoluted phraseology. You want to be very professional and very, very informative. All right, so if you do this, you can establish credibility in the industry you're getting into, as long as you have the volume. It's all about volume, right? So if you give yourself a 6-month period and you're posting every week, that's 24 posts. That's 24 posts. And the thing here is that you can even review a book, which is even wonderful, right? Imagine if I go back to my to the accounting example that I took, if you're able to review an accounting book or 2 or 3 or 4 accounting books, that shows your potential, your future employer, that you have, again, the theoretical knowledge base needed to excel at the job, right? So you can review companies, you can review books, you can review manuals, you can review products, right? Again, it depends upon the industry you're getting yourself into. Try to tailor the kind of items you're reviewing to the industry and the particular position you want to get into. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We are talking about 3 clever ways to get a job in any industry without prior experience. And this tactic works all the time. If you love the content's clarity and quality so far, and would love to encourage us, please consider subscribing to our channel and turning on the notification bell. And you also want to like this content. You want to smash the share button if you can smash it. And you also want to comment below. What do you think about our tips? Do you have other tips when it comes to getting a job in any industry without prior experience? Now, the third clever way to get a job in any industry with no experience is to write a bestseller, or at least a great book. And here I'm talking about, you want to write the book yourself. Don't ghostwrite it. And you want to pick a relevant topic, right? This is very important. You want to do research. You can actually combine any of those 3 tips. So you can write a blog, and if you have time, you can actually combine all the blog articles into a book and self-publish on Amazon, right? The thing here is that you want to write a book, and if you can write a book and you can have a clear book, a compelling topic, and you can advertise, you can promote the book on social media to increase the number of reviews. If you have great reviews, to increase the ranking on Amazon and other platforms, this will actually establish your credibility a lot when it comes to getting a job in the industry that you are targeting, right? The idea here is that you want to make sure the book is well written. Again, it's very important. It has to be professional. It has to be dense. We're not talking about a few pages or 20 pages, the double spaced. No, we're talking about at least 100 pages, 200 pages. You want to really establish credibility. And the only way you can establish credibility is to write long form content. You can't just get away with posting 1 paragraph or 2 paragraphs if you don't have experience in the field. Remember, you have the burden of proof. You need to prove to your potential recruiter that you understand the intricacies of the industry you're getting yourself into, even though you have no practical experience, right? So this is basically, you have to think about this way. If you take a university professor, for instance, some college professors have no practical experience, but they do have a great body of theoretical knowledge. And this is the kind of stuff you're trying to get into as well. All right. So this is basically, these are the 3 types of ways you can get a job in any industry without prior experience. Create and maintain a compelling blog, become a reviewer, write a bestseller, at least a great book. All right. And the pro tip I want to give you here is, and this is powerful also, you want to try to increase your networking towards the industry you want to get into. In other words, attend networking events, get to know people in the industry. You want to have connections, you want to send connections and referrals and endorsement on LinkedIn. So you need to get to know people. If you don't have the knowledge, at least get to know the people. That will help you definitely in landing your ideal job. All right? Good luck, and I will see you next time. But until then, stay marvelous.